What is up, YouTube? Johnny B here again today, and we are just relaxing right now out here in Arizona in the sun at Wild Horse Motorsport Park. Today is the day that we're finally going to test out the initialized FRS and see how good it is on the track, you know, after countless years, I guess you could say about 3 years of just doing mod after mod every week, just little things here and there, trying to get it as prepped as possible. We have a GoPro mount set up on the front of the car. We have a GoPro mount set up on my helmet, so you guys get to see some helmet cam, see my driving. And then we have another camera, or I guess you could say my dash cam inside, recording a lot of the interior areas. That way you guys can see me going at it inside. That way you guys have, you know, all kinds of views. And then we have Angel, the camera guy, around looking everywhere as he can. You know, get some of those outside shots, taking pictures. So there's some people racing right now. So since I am new with this organization, we're gonna go through like a classroom that we can get a certificate. And then also we're gonna go ahead and run with a bunch of the new guys. And they actually have a Corvette Z06, they have a Porsche 911. There's even a 427 Cobra, so that's gonna be awesome to go up against to see how well we do. The main part of the track where we're allowed to pass as new members is the straightaway, so the drag strip. So we get to open it up there to see how fast the car is compared, you know, to all the other cars. There's some Mustang GT 5.0s in there. So let's try to pass up as many cars as we can on our very first run. And let's just see how that does. The goal here is to get a lot of the yellow with the blue stripe, or is it blue with yellow stripe flags, which is telling the person in front to get out of the way because the car behind you is faster. So you guys get to finally see the initialized FRS in like complete action. Hopefully dominating. Hopefully I don't spin out. You know, I have the car pretty dialed in.
You're kidding me!
right, guys, first 2 sessions are done and the car has been handling amazing. This thing is taking corners like crazy. I've been, racing down the drag strip. It's a little bit difficult to keep up with the higher horsepower cars, but once we get into the corners, the car is just taking the corners, and I'm like right on the back of people's, bumper basically, because they're supposed to have, more expensive cars, like the Porsche 911. You probably saw that passed up. That thing was really slow. Obviously, it has a lot to do with the driver, but the car itself was really, really powerful. He was just taking really bad lines. Passed up Mustang 5.0. That guy was really good. He was going really hard, but I was just a little bit quicker on the cornering, which was amazing, obviously. And then as soon as we got onto the drag strip area, which is basically the straightaway, we were able to just, fly right past him. He obviously let us wave by just so it's a safe pass. We don't want to be getting into any accidents. So the car has been driving really good. On the first session, I did notice that the car was sliding a little bit and it felt kind of weird. So it turns out I wasn't using the full amount of the tire. I had 40 PSI in the tire. So I ended up dropping it to 32 PSI. And for the second session, worked amazingly. The car feels like it's on rails. It kind of feels like when I got into a Miata one time and the guy just went for it on autocross. That's how this car feels now. So it's pretty impressive. And in regards to the brakes, they're working perfectly fine. As long as I don't overuse them, obviously slow down a little bit and roll into the corner, that'll keep the brakes good. The first session, I did slam on the brakes a little bit too hard. Like I was riding the brakes a little bit too much, and it did overheat them a little bit, so they were smoking just a little bit, but they've been working perfectly fine. I haven't had any noticeable brake fade. I was going at about 110 and had to stop to right before the corner, so that was probably what, 25 feet, 50 feet. So brakes are handling really, really well. So now we're gonna go ahead and continue some more lap sessions. The car's resting right now until we get our next run up there. We have 4 sessions. Let's wait for these guys to pass by. Thing's loud. We have 4 sessions of 20 minutes and the car's been doing good. Temperatures have been stable. The coil rad and then all the cooling system has been working really well. I think I've gotten the temperatures up to 200, and then they stabilize there as long as I'm not abusing the car too much. And same thing with the oil, 224. They've been working pretty good. So now let's just see how it'll do. It's been doing really good, for the way it's all set up now. And with the power that I'm running, I'm only running 320 horses, 330 on 8 PSI. So keeping it, low boost, making it a little bit more reliable, and just having fun at the track. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go do some more lap sessions. All right, guys, the track day session is over. All 4 20-minute sessions are completely done, and we have some issues. The car is now broken. So if you guys look over here on the front, bottom right side or whatever, it's just big old crack. Look at that. The windshield is just destroyed. I was driving behind an S2000 and boom, it flicked up a rock. It just cracked it straight up. And then another issue that I'm having is I'm leaking oil everywhere. It's really bad. Let me show you guys over here. We're gonna go around the car. If you guys look over here on my diffuser, there's a little bit of oil here. It's kind of bad, but it turns out it's just my diff seals. So I was warned to replace my diff, like little O-ring seals or whatever, the seals that go from the diff with where the axle goes in. That's where it started leaking, so I'm gonna need to replace that. I did run it a little bit like that, low on diff oil, so if my actual diff is bad, I have an extra one to replace it, no big deal. And then another thing that broke was my trusty GoPro. There's like a big old crack in the screen. And the weird part is that this was on my splitter, but somehow a rock went around and just smashed right into the back screen. So it kind of sucks. GoPro still works though, so it's a little bit of the carnage left over. Overall, the car did amazing. You know, for it to be able to handle, you know, those sessions and not, you know, not overheat and not have like oil cooling issues, none of that stuff. The car was driving, you know, perfectly for it being, I guess, a non-reliable, since I'm running a stock engine on a turbo. But I was just being conservative, running just APSI. I don't want to go too crazy, around 320 horses. The car did amazing, so I'm very happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, you guys have a great day.